When you've left home and you traveled far, it's time for a visit to the Common Beat Bar.
Hi everybody, Nathan from Wisconsin here, and welcome to the next city. This is number 19. It's Aurora, Ontario, Canada. Aurora's home to many cool things like the Aurora Arboretum, which has a blue oak tree almost 200 years old. It was the home of Canada's very first pet cemetery, oddly enough, and it's one of the top 10 wealthiest towns in all of Canada, but mostly it's home to Yonge Street. Yonge Street used to be known as the longest road in the world, but it is still the longest road in Canada, about 56 kilometers long. It starts in the south and moves north through the province and was the inspiration for the start of the town. And so that road leads us to Toronto. Aurora is the city where we took that day trip and visited Toronto, and so in honor of that, today we're making a classic cocktail called the Toronto. We're going to start with a Canadian rye whiskey. So make sure you have rye. It doesn't have to be Canadian, but I went out of the way here to buy a bottle of Canadian rye whiskey. Not anything special, but still Canadian. And then Fernet Branca is going to be part of our recipe today. So Fernet is an Italian Amaro. It's a bitter digestif, and so it has a very strong flavor of many different herbs, and it's quite bitter. It's got some peppermint in there, along with a bunch of other weird stuff. We're going to be using our cocktail bitters again, always Angostura for me, and then a little bit of our homemade simple syrup. So let's get started. We are going to take 2 ounces of rye, and so I'm going to double that today. That means I'm looking for 4 ounces. So 1.5, 3, and 4. Perfect. The recipe then calls for just 1/4 ounce of Fernet. And let me tell you, you might not think that's enough, but you will taste it. So I'm going to put 1/2 ounce in there because we're doubling. See how deeply that color has changed in the drink already? Fernet is a very strong flavor. We're going to put in 2 dashes of bitters. And then some of our homemade simple syrup. Again, just 1/4 ounce, but we're doubling, so 1/2 ounce for me. There we go. And then we're just going to stir this one. So, bowl of a spoon along the outside. We're going to stir for about 10 seconds, 20 passes around the glass. We're not agitating. We don't want to combine air. We're just moving the spoon around the outside of the glass to combine our liquors and maybe dilute the ice a little bit. We're going to take our serving glass here, julep strainer right inside of our mixing glass, and then there we go, right to the top. No garnish in this one. That speaks for itself. This is the Toronto for Aurora, Ontario, Canada.
Travel show travel can be a real drag, but my host won't put some beer inside my lunch bag.